How to knit and sew your own Christmas stockings on the loom, Part 2, How to assemble your project. For today's tutorial, you will need a sewing machine with coordinating string. Today we are using a Serger Promise sewing machine. We also use a Brother Serger in this tutorial, but it's not necessary. If you have access to a Serger, it will help with the durability of the stockings, but they will hold together just fine with just the sewing machine. A pair of scissors, your knitted fabric. We are using the knitted fabric we created on our loom. You can find a link to the tutorial on how you can create your own knitted fabric in the description box below, or you can use an old sweater or afghan you don't mind cutting up. Some backing fabric. We are using some scrap linen fabric we had left over from another project, but anything with some structure to it will work. Faux fur fabric. We are using Faux Fur Siberian Fox Silver from fabric.com. You can find a link to the fabric below in the description box. Some lining fabric. Any coordinating lining fabric will work. Your stockings pattern. You can download the pattern we use on our website using the link in the description box below. A box of pins and some ribbon. We use lace ribbon, but any coordinating ribbon that you like will work just fine. Step 1. Print, tape, and cut out your stocking pattern. You'll need to print out one pattern for every stocking you want to make. The knitted fabric we made in our previous tutorial can make up to 5 stockings. Use one copy of your pattern to cut out the lining fabric, backing fabric, and faux fur. Do not cut out your knitted fabric. You'll need to cut out the following for each stocking. 1 of backing fabric cut out in the stocking pattern, 2 of the lining fabric cut out in the stocking pattern, 1 of the lining fabric cut out in the cuff pattern, and 1 of the faux fur fabric cut out in the cuff pattern. Step 2. Pin your stocking pattern to your knitted fabric. Do not cut it out. Just use the pins to attach it to the front side of your fabric, placing it where you think will look best. To get 5 stockings out of the knitted fabric we made in the previous tutorial, you'll need to pin right up to the very edge on each side. Step 3. Use your sewing machine and sew the pattern to the knitted fabric, sewing in between the dotted line and the solid line in the pattern. Try to stay as close to the middle of the lines as possible. Remove all the pins once you've sewn all the way around the stocking. Repeat steps 2 and 3 for each stocking that you want to make. Step 4. Cut out your stockings. Do not cut right up to the edge. Give yourself a little breathing room to make sure that your knitting doesn't unravel before you have a chance to secure it. Step 5. Pin one piece of your lining to the back of your knitted fabric, lining it up with the pattern on the front. Step 6. This is where you'll want to use a serger if you have one, but if not, just use your sewing machine for this step. Line up the edge of your serger or your sewing machine with the edge of the pattern on the front and sew all the way around your pattern. Step 7. Remove the pattern from the front of the fabric. It's okay to rip up the pattern in the process, and you might have a few pieces of paper stuck in the stitches from the pattern, but you don't need to worry about those since they'll be hidden in the seams anyways. Make sure to be careful as you pull it off to make sure you don't stretch the knitting and pull any strands out as you go. Step 8. Pin together your backing and second piece of lining to the knitted fabric. You'll layer them first with the knitted fabric facing upwards, then the backing, then the last piece of lining, and pin all the way around. Step 9. Sew along the same line you sewed on before, lining up the edge of your sewing machine foot with the edge of the fabric. Sew all the way around, skipping the top of the stocking. Step 10. Trim all your edges. Step 11. With right sides together, pin your cuff lining and your faux fur together on the short sides. Step 12. Sew together the short edges of the cuff. Step 13. Pin together the top of the cuff to the top of the stocking. Flip the stocking inside out and the cuff right side out. Pin together the faux fur fabric side of the cuff to the lining side of the stocking. Line up the edges of the cuff with the edge that is on the heel side of the stocking. Step 14. Starting on one edge of the cuff, sew all the way around the top of the stocking until you reach the other edge. Step 15. I attached my ribbon in a loop on the outside corner of the stocking on the edge of the back where the cuff joins the stocking by sewing it back and forth a few times. Step 16. Flip your stocking right side out with the cuff in place. Cut your cuff to the length that you want. Make sure to cut inside the fur so that you don't get a weird chopped edge. Also, cut your lining to match so it cannot be seen on the outside. And that's how you make your own knitted stockings. Want more loom knitting tutorials? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow our blog at vintagestorehouse.com to get new videos and posts sent right to your inbox. Thanks for watching!